Jesus laid down his rights as God, as creator of the universe. Every right is attributed to him, but he laid those down so that you and I could be in relationship with him. You got to understand the good news here because it is really good news. You got to understand the gospel because it's not an idea, it's a person. This person, Jesus Christ, laid down his rights. These things that he was entitled to. If there's anybody that's entitled, it's Jesus, and he laid them down. He set them aside and said, no, I'm going to humble myself so that these people can be in relationship with me. I will do whatever it takes for them to be in relationship with me. And so he says, that's all I expect of you is to come to me in the same way, without entitlement, without pride, without all these formulas, but you come to me with humility and in desperation. That there is no other way, there is no formula, there is no concept that's going to work this out. And we come to him in absolute desperation. And some of you think, yeah, I remember that day, a long time ago, Richie, when I did that. Here's the deal. The kingdom is not a one-time event. The kingdom is an attitude, a position, a posture in our hearts. A relationship with Jesus that's ongoing, that's growing in intimacy. Your marriage is not the wedding day. Right? That's the beginning, the commitments that you make in the beginning of learning to live out those commitments. Jesus humbled himself. He laid down his rights, so we actually have no right to any expectations. I'll say it again. We actually have no right to have expectations. That's hard. Look at Hebrews 13, or maybe just jot it down. Verses 12 and 13. So Jesus also suffered outside the city gate to make the people holy through his own blood. Let us then go to him outside the camp, bearing the disgrace he bore. We don't stay here kind of with it all figured out, put together. No, we go outside the camp where the Jews put everybody that was kind of disgraceful and shameful. He put all those broken, ugly, yucky people outside the camp because we got to keep things inside the church looking all good. The writer of Hebrews says, no, you go outside the camp and you bear the disgrace that Jesus bore. You go in humility and brokenness and desperation. I will do whatever it takes to be a part of this kingdom. The kingdom of heaven in Matthew 13, Jesus says, the kingdom of heaven is like a man who found a buried treasure. And when he found it, he buried it again, and then he went and he sold everything he had to buy that field where that treasure was buried. I will do whatever it takes to be a part of the kingdom, to get in on this, because I want the hope, I want the life, I want the joy that Jesus has. The world does not have it. The formula does not work. None of this is happening. None of it is working. I will do whatever it takes, and so our attitude, our heart changes. Because an attitude, a heart that's kind of ritualistic says, how much more do I have to do? An attitude that sees the kingdom says, there's no amount of sacrifice that is too great. Here's the deal. All of a sudden, an army is released on this community. We become a force to be reckoned with. Jesus said the gates of hell cannot prevail against his church. When we get the kingdom, when we're willing to do whatever it takes to get that treasure in that field, we will do whatever it takes. The devil shudders in fear because he knows he cannot hold back God's kingdom. As it comes alive in each of our hearts and the joy that we're filled with. Because you got to understand, this is where the disappointment and the disillusionment kind of goes away. Because we see the joy of what it means to have the kingdom in our hearts, the hope and the freedom and the life that we now get. And all that disappointment goes away. We're like, I'm just so humbled to be here. I can't believe Jesus would use me. I can't believe he would allow me to be a part of this. And people all around us go, wow, I've never seen that. Sure, I've seen the formula people. I've seen the rituals. I've seen all of that. But that joy, hope, freedom, life, I've never seen that. And this is where it becomes good news. It's our friends and our family. Go tell us about that good news. Tell us about that. When they see you disappointed and disillusioned and frustrated, when they see you burned out and just like we all get there, they go, No thanks. Got plenty of that. The good news comes in our desperation. It comes in the midst of our humility. The good news is a relationship with Jesus Christ. It's not an idea or a concept. It's a person. And the moment we come to in humility and brokenness is the moment that this kingdom is activated in our hearts and stays active in our hearts. Well, I want to pray with you because this is heavy, isn't it? You okay? Okay. This is the real work of the kingdom right here, our hearts. Man's hearts are deep waters. And those deep waters are only waded with Jesus together. So I want to go to him now together. So we just bow your heads. I want to pray with you. I want to just lead you through some prayers. Where do you smell that entitlement in your heart? Just think God can bring this current, most recent disappointment to surface right now. Where is it? Just go to him with it. Jesus, here's where I'm at with that. I'm realizing the disappointment and the disillusionment and the frustration I'm harboring right here with this issue. Talk to him about it specifically. God, I know that I can't come to you. You're going to fix something, or I know that you can change my heart. Not the circumstances, not the other people. I come to you in desperation, God. I want joy again. I want joy for the first time. I see the kingdom. I see what you're talking about, God. Now I'm ready. I'll do whatever it takes to be a part of that. I'll sell everything. I lay down my rights. Our pride says that this is what I deserve, this is the way it ought to go. God, we just confess that pride to you right now. Forgive us. God, forgive me. How quickly, God, I hold people hostage because they don't line up with my expectations, the way it should go in my mind. God, forgive me. God, I think of the people in this room today, right now, that are the very first time they're hearing the good news about you, and they want in. They want that. If that's you, here's what you do. All you do is you come to him in brokenness and in humility. Say, Jesus, I don't know what it takes. I don't know what this looks like, but I want it. I'm all in, God. Realize that my life has been mine. I've ruled it, I've led it, and it's got me to the same spot over and over and over again. And God, I come finally saying, I'm done with that. That doesn't work. The formula does not work. I've gotten the same results: frustration, bitterness, anger, broken relationships. You've got to come to you now in humility and say, I want in, I want your way, I want a relationship with you. God, I just think of your healing going on in hearts in this room. In the midst of the wake of the transition this church is in, God, I just pray for healing. I pray for hope. I pray for freedom. I pray for grace. God, I ask for supernatural just empowerment of your power flooding our hearts as we learn to forgive, as we learn to look past each other's faults, as we learn to be devoted to you in a relationship with you and not some system, organization, or building, but you and you alone, God. God, flood our hearts with joy again.